Hello, beautiful people. Aloha and welcome to this new episode of Touchful Podcast. I feel such beautiful energy today to record this episode. Sometimes when I sit to record an episode and I think about a topic, I feel a lot of excitement and joy and almost childlike bubbling energy, and I feel I cannot sit still. But other times I feel a lot of this deep, contemplative, almost meditative energy ready to go through me, and I feel it is like this time. I would love to invite you for a beautiful contemplation today, and for a lot of practice. We will be having a theoretical part today and a practical part, and the topic that I'm bringing for you and for myself to contemplate on, to feel into today, is connection with the heart. Feeling the heart and spending time with the heart. I want to share with you how I spend time with my heart, and first and foremost, why I even do it, why I put so much time, energy, dedication into it, why I feel that it is so important that I basically create my whole life around it. And then I will share with you some super simple but extremely powerful and beautiful exercises that you can do whenever you want to feel the connection with the heart, whenever you want to spend time truly, deeply with yourself in your heart. And I would like to start with giving you a little bit of context and a little bit of explanation why this is so important for me, why spending time with my heart has been life-changing for me. And to do that, I need to start by sharing with you my perspective on what heart is. So what is the heart? And to me, the way I feel it now, the way I connected to it, it is a true center. It is the true, deep center of myself and of my being. It is my wisdom center. I like to feel that the heart, my heart, is the center of the universe. I remember that I once heard that if universe is truly infinite, it doesn't have ends, then it means that every place in the universe is the center of the universe, because from every place in the universe there is the same distance to infinity, which is infinity. And I remember when I heard it, and it was in a completely non-spiritual context. It was some astrophysics lecture. But the moment I heard it, that the center of the universe can be anywhere, I was like, duh. The center of the universe is in my heart. This is the true center of my universe, a true center of my world. And we can already start with an exercise. I invite you to feel into it, to give yourself a moment to bring a focus to your heart and play with that thought, contemplate that thought, that the center of whole universe is right here, right inside your heart, and how it makes you feel, what it brings up. So to me, it is this. It is the true center. It is the wisdom center. And I know that there is this popular dilemma sometimes, mind or heart? Should you follow your mind or your heart? It's like we have lots of memes around it, that mind wants one thing and hearts want the other thing, and I feel that it's also such a big part of our pop culture and our Western culture. And to me, there is no dilemma. I don't have that dilemma. I feel that I used to have it. I used to be very much of a mind person. I would call myself big brain on tiny legs. And there was no space for heart anywhere in that. It was just big brain and tiny legs that were taking this brain into different places. But as things started to change in my life, and as I brought more and more focus to the heart, I just realized that for me, in my case, there is no dilemma. I'm not saying that there is no dilemma in general. Maybe it is a huge part of your life, feeling this dilemma between the mind and the heart, and this constant inner dialogue when one part wants one thing and the other part wants the other thing. That can be the case. In my case, I just made a decision, and it was a conscious choice, that there is no dilemma, that the answer is obvious, and the wisdom center for me is the heart. And I love the mind, and I cherish the mind, and I find that mind is absolutely fantastic, and I love the energy of the mind, and I love to be connected to the mind. And maybe one day I will make a podcast episode about it, who knows. But still, it doesn't change the fact for me that even though I have a lot of mental energy, I have this very sharp mind and I love knowledge, it doesn't change the fact that it is not my center. The true center of me, center of my world, true wisdom center of my universe is the heart. And I don't know if I'm right or wrong. It is just a choice that I made because I can. Because we can choose how we see the world, and the way we see the world will determine how we experience it, will determine our life. So I made a choice that my heart is the most important thing for me, that it is my true center. And of course, we naturally associate heart with love as the love center. And as I was preparing this episode and contemplating on what I want to share, and I was asking myself, okay, like the heart, love center, but love is everywhere, love is everything. Like, how does this come together? And then a memory came to me. I was so surprised by this memory. I was born and raised a Catholic in a Catholic family, and even though I don't follow Catholic religion anymore, I still have lots of memories from moments in church when I was, listening to the prayers and praying with my grandma. And I remember this one moment when I was little, and the priest was trying to explain to us why we need to go to church. And he explained that, yes, God is everywhere. God is everywhere, but it is easier to feel God in the church because the church is this temple of God. It is made especially for this purpose, to be able to connect to God. That's why churches look how they look. So it is easier for us to feel connection to God in these beautiful places. And as I was contemplating the heart as the center of the universe and the center of love, I felt that it's exactly the same, that love is everywhere. It is everywhere, it is in everything. It is, again, how I feel it and what I believe in. It is what this world is made of. Love is my religion. And if love is my religion, then my heart is my church. Love is everywhere, but somehow it is easier for me to feel it when I connect to my heart, to the center of love. Connecting to my heart, spending time with my heart gives me easier access to love. And I so much love this metaphor, that love is my religion and my heart is my church. Love is everywhere, but it is easiest for me to connect it through my heart. And I will be sharing with you many beautiful and simple exercises, how I do it, how I connect to my religion, to love in my church, in my heart. Another way I see the heart is that it is the center between the earth and the sky. It is right between the earth and the sky. If you know something about the chakra system, then you might know that one of the most popular systems that many people here in the Western world, they know it and they sometimes follow it, is the system of 7 chakras. 3 of them are below, then there is the heart chakra in the middle, and 3 of them are above. And I feel that it's no coincidence that the heart chakra is right in the middle, right in between the earth and the sky, the so-called, I'm making here huge air quote here, the so-called lower chakras and the upper chakras. So I like to feel that when I am in my heart, when I connect to my heart, I am right in between the earth and the sky. I am equally grounded and spirited. It is in the heart where I feel heaven on earth, basically. If I am too much into material world, if I am too materialistic and just walking on this earth without being connected to the spirit, to anything spiritual, then I feel that something is lacking. I'm just this material, earthy being. I'm just a flesh. But when I go too high up, too high above, when I just fly high, metaphorically, and I feel that I'm just spirit and all the energies, then I feel that I lose contact with this material world, which is so beautiful and precious, that I almost lose contact with my body, that I have these out-of-body experiences. And both of these extremes are also very valuable, and they bring beautiful insights and beautiful contemplations, to be deeply in a materialistic world and to be deeply in a spiritual world. But I like to go into each of these extremes just for a moment, just to visit. But my true home is right in the middle, right in between the earth and the sky, right in the heart, right in the center. I somehow also find it so beautiful that the heart is in the center of our body. Though I look at a person, I feel that the heart is right in the middle. So to me it is the true center. Heaven on earth is in the heart. It is not a place to go, it is not a time that will happen, heaven on earth. But heaven on earth is here, now, in every here and now. When I am in the heart, I experience heaven on earth, being both deeply rooted and deeply connected to the spirit. And finally, yet another way I see the heart and the importance of the heart is that it is a transformator, in a sense that it can take everything and transform it into love. I shared a little bit more of that in the previous episode, the one titled You Are Bigger, when we were doing the exercise at the end of growing your heart, expanding your heart, and feeling that everything fits perfectly in your heart and that your heart can transform everything into love. That is one of my all-time favorite practices to do. Feeling that this is the natural power of my heart. I don't need to learn how to do it, just like I don't need to learn how to breathe. It is just a natural function of my body. I want to believe that I don't need to learn how to connect to my heart and transform everything into love. It is a natural function, energetical function of the heart that just starts to naturally emerge or naturally be more felt and accessible for me the more I connect to my heart. So the more I connect to my center, the more I connect to my heart, the more love naturally I feel for myself, for other people, for the whole world. And it just simply happens as a natural consequence of being connected to this magnificent transformator, the one that is able to change and transform everything into love. So this is how I see the heart. This is why I prioritize it. This is why I feel that connecting to the heart is the most important thing to do. And again, I don't know if I'm wrong or right, but this is my choice. This is my choice to see the world like this, to see the heart like this. And I come today to share it with you, maybe to inspire you, maybe to give you some ideas for contemplation, and also to ask you how you feel the heart. What is heart to you? Do you feel connected to your heart? Do you take time to spend time with your heart? And I would like to share with you a couple of very simple things that I do daily. Some of them I almost do automatically, like breathing. I don't think about them anymore. But at the beginning, when I was exploring the connection to the heart, when I was dedicating my focus into bringing more of myself into the heart, these were very conscious practices. And still, some of them are very conscious practices, meditations that I do daily in the morning, for example. But many of the things that I will share with you right now are the things that will take you 5 seconds, and you can do it at any time, at any moment, always, always. Number one thing, to connect to your heart, to feel that your heart is energetically growing, metaphorically growing, waking up, that it is becoming your true center, is to simply focus on the heart as often as possible. So to bring your awareness into the heart. And I've been doing it constantly as I've been speaking to you so far on this podcast. In this episode, I've been consciously bringing my focus to my heart. So all my energy is not in my mind right now, but in my heart. And it is something that you can do at a busy meeting. You can do it in the middle of a fight with somebody. Just bring the focus into your heart and you will be amazed how it changes the energy of a fight. You can do it when you are just standing in line in a store. You can do it during lovemaking. It's a beautiful practice to take all the energy from the mind or from the genitals, wherever it is during lovemaking, and bring it to the heart simply by focusing on the heart. You can do it anywhere, everywhere, at any given moment, when you eat, when you are on a walk, when you are playing with your children, when you are playing with your pet, when you are cooking, when you are taking a shower, when you are falling asleep, the first thing that you do when you wake up, bringing focus to your heart. And there is this good, beautiful energy rule that your energy will flow like a river wherever you bring your focus. So right now, if I tell you, focus on the right finger, the pinky, the fingernail of your right pinky finger. And if you really do it, if you will focus on the right fingernail of your pinky finger right now, the energy will flow there. And that's the easiest and the most beautiful thing about energy. It follows our attention, it follows our awareness. Whatever we focus on, it grows. So as you start to practice focusing on your heart consciously, other people might not even be aware of what you are doing. You might be still in the middle of a conversation, nothing needs to change. But take the energy from your mind and bring it to your heart. That is another exercise that I used to do a lot, and now I also do it whenever I need it. Whenever I feel that I'm too much in my head space, too much ruminating, thinking, just feeling that my head is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, I just take a moment and I imagine that all that energy from my head, all these thoughts and worries and ideas, everything that is there in this big head, that it just flows down like a waterfall through my face, through my throat and neck, on the collarbones and shoulders, just like a river all the way to my heart. And oh my God, I've been doing this exercise right now as I was describing it to you. Simultaneously, I was doing it. And the feeling that it gives, where I can just rest in my heart, rest in my true center. This feeling is incomparable to anything else. And again, I spend a lot of time in my mind. I love it. It's a beautiful place to visit, but it is a place to visit. Mind is a place to visit. Heart is the home, at least the way I see it, the way I experience it, and the way I live my life. So number one thing, focusing on your heart as often as possible, bringing the energy from your mind to your heart whenever you need it, bringing the energy from your genitals to your heart whenever you need it. And you can do it without even other people being aware of it, just with your dedicated focus, your dedicated awareness. But what has been helping me so much when I started to practice this was to put my hand on the heart whenever possible, as often as possible, just multiple times during the day. Whenever you remember it, just put your hand on the heart and take one breath, just like I'm doing right now. I'm putting my hand on the heart and taking one breath. It takes me a couple of seconds and it immediately connects me to my heart. And remember that what I'm sharing with you, all these things that I'm saying right now, these are exercises, which means that you need to exercise it. And at the beginning, it might feel like nothing, that you don't feel any difference, that you don't see any result, because you are exercising this, you are practicing this. And a time will come when you will feel a difference, when you will feel a result if you exercise it. Just like there is no difference in your body, how it looks after going to the gym one time. But if you exercise, if you practice, if you are dedicated and you train your body, then you will inevitably see the difference after some time. It's the same with all these exercises that I'm sharing with you right now. Think about it as a practice. And the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. It becomes, at some point, a natural thing. At some point, it becomes your lifestyle. It becomes the way you live. If you follow me on Instagram, for example, and if you sometimes watch my Insta stories on my reels, you will very often see me with my hand on the heart. This is just an automatic thing for me right now. I don't even think about it anymore. Just whenever I feel that I want to speak truly, with depth, with integrity, I put my hand on the heart. So practice that. And another thing that I love doing once I put my hand on the heart is to give my heart a little rub, a gentle massage. I like to go in circles, so you will hear me right now. just massaging my heart space a little bit, going in circles. Maybe taking a breath. And I feel that heart loves it so much. I mean, I do massage for a living. I do Hawaiian healing massage. So I love massage in general, and I love touch. And I feel that the body is so grateful for the touch each and every time. And especially the heart space. I feel that heart lights up. It comes more to life as I'm rubbing it. The image that I got right now is, from Aladdin, when you got this magic lamp and you were rubbing it and the genie would come out of the lamp. I kind of feel a little bit like this when I put my hand on the heart and I rub my heart. I feel that I activate the genie inside my heart, the wisdom, the depth, the integrity, the truth, the authenticity, all that matters the most for me in my life. I activate it by focusing on my heart with my awareness, and sometimes also with the physical touch, touching the heart, rubbing it. Another way that you can simply, easily, effortlessly connect to your heart, spend time with your heart, is breathing into the heart, breathing through the heart. So, of course, literally, The breath happens through your nose or through your mouth, whatever you choose. But again, you can energetically choose where your breath goes and where your breath follows, and it will feel like this. So you can choose that you breathe through the heart. We can do it right now. Whatever you are doing, maybe you are listening to this podcast and you're on a walk, maybe you're just sitting somewhere or even washing the dishes or even driving a car. We can do it at any moment. We can do it together right now. Just take a breath and feel that the inhale goes through your heart. And then exhale and exhale through the heart. And one more time. Inhale through your heart. And exhale through your heart. As simple as this. And it works. The more you practice it, the more it works. The more you practice it, the more you will feel the difference in the amount of love that you feel, the amount of peace that you feel. The more you spend time with your heart, the more difference you will feel. I sometimes, when I do this exercise of breathing through the heart, I like to sometimes feel that with every inhale, my heart is just growing and expanding. And with every exhale, relaxing. Again, it's the exercise that we did in a previous episode of Touchful Podcast. You might want to play a little bit, because you can, because it's fun. You might want to play a little bit and imagine that you are breathing a beautiful color into your heart. Might be white color, green color, pink, golden, red, blue, whatever you want. Breathing this color into your heart. And then allowing this colorful energy to just spread through your body with the exhale. And again, with the inhale, breathing a beautiful color or maybe even a whole rainbow into your heart. And with the exhale, allowing all this beautiful, colorful light to just go into your body, into your arms and legs, into your whole torso, into your belly, into your back, up into your head, and just nourish you. The heart is this center of nourishment. We become nourished with love the more we connect to the heart. Another simple way to connect to the heart is asking a question. How are you today, my heart? What do you need today, my heart? And that's it. You don't even need to wait for an answer. Sometimes the answer might come immediately. Sometimes you just ask a question just because you are curious, because you want to acknowledge the connection between you and your heart. And the more you ask these questions and the more you connect to your heart, the more you will feel connected to your true wisdom. That is at least my experience. The more I am connected to my heart, there is less and less moments in my life when I feel that I don't know what to do, that I feel lost. I still have these moments, of course I do, and I will always have them most likely because I'm a human. But the more I practice resting in my heart, coming home to my heart, the more I feel that I know deeply from my heart, and it is the deepest wisdom, the deepest knowledge that one can get. So you might call it intuition if you want to, if this is your word. But it is this unshakable knowing. Versus sometimes when I try to analyze something with the mind, I'm like, can be like this, can be like that, I'm not sure, da-da-da. And sometimes it's very useful depending on what kind of problem I analyze. But if I want the deep knowing, deep wisdom, deep intuitive recognition, then I will find it in the heart. And the more I connect to my heart, the more I know. The more I know what is good for me, the easier it becomes to take any decision, the more I reside in the heart. So connect to your heart and ask yourself, ask your heart beautiful questions. How are you today? What do you need? How do you feel? What do you want today, my heart? How would you like to experience the world today? What would you like to say today, my heart? And see what happens just by asking these questions. Another beautiful practice, we go from these very simple ones into a little bit more advanced ones, as you can feel. So from the simplest, just bringing focus to your heart, focusing on the heart space, on the chest space. We go through the ones that are a little bit more, I don't want to say advanced, but maybe they take a little bit more time. And one of these practices is listening through the heart and watching through the heart. And in my case, it is something that happened as a consequence, as a byproduct of me connecting to my heart daily, relentlessly, whenever I remember it, until it just became my nature, that I spend most of my time in the heart. Then I just noticed that I started to listen to people through my heart. So again, of course, logically, we listen through our ears, and then our physical brain processes these impulses and makes sense of it. Of course, on this like logical level, I know it happens like this, but there is more to life than just logic. And I can listen to people through my heart. I had this beautiful moment with my friend yesterday. I have a friend visiting me, and yesterday we were just sitting and she was sharing something about her life, and some of the parts of the story that she was sharing, some were very beautiful, some were very difficult and moving, some were challenging. And I was just there. I was laying on a sofa next to her, and I was very relaxed, and all my energy was gathered in my heart, and I was just listening with my full heart, as if my heart had ears, and as if I didn't want to miss even a single letter from what she was saying. And the beauty of listening with your heart is that I didn't feel the need to tell her what to do. I didn't have a need to give her advice. I didn't have a need to console her or to express my concern in any way. I was just fully in my heart, making so much space for her to just share her story without the need to comment on it, without the need to give advice. Unless I feel like it, then I always ask people, do you want to see my perspective, or do you want to hear what I want to say? But that was such a beautiful experience for me, just to listen and be in a heart and listen truly for the sake of listening and not for the sake of giving my advice or the answer. Try that. You might want to first try it with your beloved, or maybe with your children, with a good friend, but eventually I believe that we can connect like this to everybody, that I can listen to the news in the radio or in the TV through my heart, and how differently it lands, how differently it makes me feel. Because, like I mentioned before, I see heart as a transformator. It can take anything, transform it into love, into pure love wisdom. Another thing that I like practicing is looking at the world through the heart. So once you start practicing connecting to your heart with the focus, with the hand, with the breath, then it becomes easier to look at the world as if your heart was looking at it. And I discovered that for me, it is the easiest to start practicing it in nature. To look at nature and to just imagine that I don't look at nature with my eyes, but my whole focus goes to my heart. I'm practicing right now as I'm speaking to you. I'm looking through the window and there is this beautiful tree, and I can look at it with my eyes, where I feel that all my focus, all my energy is in my eyes, or I can pull back a little bit, almost as if my eyes were sinking into my skull, and bring all that focus and all that energy into the heart and look at the same tree with my heart. And suddenly I start to see so much more beauty. That tree was already beautiful before when I was looking at it with my eyes, but suddenly I see so much more beauty, so much more aliveness, so much more perfection in this tree. And I somehow see it more as a living being, as something that is alive, not just an object, not just a tree, but something that is alive. And that is one more thing that happens. I just realized it now as I was speaking to you. That is one more thing that happens when you spend time with your heart. At least that's what is happening for me, that I relate much more to everybody and everything, to the whole world, as being alive, not just the objects, not just other people, but beings that are alive, that have the same life. There is the same life in me and in you. There is the same life in me and in that tree. And ultimately, there is the same life in me and in every object, everything that I look around in my room right now. I can practice connecting to it and recognizing that there is the same life. There is ultimately one heart, which is like we already go into very much of a spiritual territory here, but I want to acknowledge this, that in my case, the more I practice it, the more I feel this deep reverence and connection to life. And at the same time, I feel deeply grounded, deeply rooted in this materialistic world, because what I shared at the beginning, heaven on earth, right between the earth and the sky, practicing grounded spirituality through connecting to your heart. And the very last thing that I want to share with you, the very last way of connecting to the heart, is through cacao medicine. If you follow me on social media, then you are probably familiar with it, because I love cacao. I drink it every morning. Sometimes I drink it alone, sometimes with my beloved. I love to drink it with my friends. I love to drink it with my clients. I often serve cacao before the lomi lomi session, before the healing session, before the massage session, as a way to connect, as a way to open the heart. And I don't want this episode to be about cacao, so I'm not gonna share that much about it. But maybe if it is the first time that you hear about cacao as a heart medicine, then I encourage you to do some research, to Google ceremonial cacao ceremonies, cacao as heart medicine. It has been present in my life for over 7 years now, almost daily, on various cacao ceremonies, drinking it with people, but also drinking it alone. And again, I choose to believe, I choose to see the world like this. I choose to believe that pure, natural, ceremonial cacao is a beautiful medicine for the heart. It is literally healthy for the heart. On a physical level, it supports the heart and the whole cardiovascular system. I give cacao to my father, who has blood pressure problems, because it helps to regulate blood pressure. So my father, who is rather a non-spiritual being, drinks this beautiful love potion for healthy reasons, and he loves it. And I see how it changes him, how he becomes just happier and calmer because of all the substances that are in the cacao, and how physically it affects our bodies. But also on this spiritual level, cacao is very often called the heart medicine, the medicine that allows us to open our hearts, to connect to our hearts. And it has been this medicine for me, and I love it, I support it, I love to share it with people. So I wonder, are you familiar with cacao? Do you know it? Have you ever drunk this pure, natural, ceremonial cacao? Have you ever maybe been to a cacao ceremony? Or is it something completely new to you? And if yes, then are you intrigued? If you are intrigued, then I encourage you to do some research and to Google a little bit about this beautiful, beautiful way of spending time with the heart. And this is exactly what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to wait for my friend to wake up, and then I will make a cup of cacao for each of us. We will have a moment to sit, to have a couple of breaths, and just to talk, to drink cacao and to talk heart to heart. Because that's what happens when you spend time with the heart. You have heart-to-heart connections. You have heart-to-heart conversations. You have heart-to-heart moments with other people, with nature, with yourself. And to me, that's the meaning of my life. That's the sense of my life. Love is my religion. Heart is my church. This is where I worship life. Because I am a life lover. And it is my dedication to practice it in various ways, every day, at every moment of my life, to be awake in the heart. And I hope that I managed to inspire you through today's episode to explore the connection with your own heart, to spend time with your heart. If you would like to share some of your insights or what you are taking from this episode, I wholeheartedly invite you to send me an email. You have the email in the description of this podcast. You have my email there. And thank you so much. Thank you for you. Thank you for spending a moment of your life with me. It is an honor. And as the last thing in today's episode, I would love to connect heart to heart with you. So I'm putting my hand on my heart. I'm taking a breath. And I feel your heart. And I feel you there. Here in this moment. And I am grateful for you. And I am happy that you are alive. And I am happy that you become a part of my life through listening to this podcast right now. And that I am becoming a part of your life. And I have you in my heart. I put you in my heart. I love you dearly. And I wish you a beautiful day or beautiful evening, depending on when you listen to this, with many moments of connecting you with your heart, spending time with your heart. Thank you for you, and I will talk to you sometime soon again. Aloha, and bye-bye.